What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are having an amazing day. And before we get started on this video, I just want to go ahead and thank you all for subbing and liking so far, and the support on this channel has been crazy, and it still blows my mind that we're still able to do this, so thank you again. Now, as you know, they recently replaced the shipment playlist with the SHOOTHOUSE playlist, and in shipment people mostly used SMGs and shotguns and snipers to, get those close kills, but on SHOOTHOUSE there's actually a lot more of a variety of weapons to use, and today we're going to be talking about the best ARs I've found. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We got the builds for the weapons I used at the end, and yeah, let's go ahead and jump into a match here. The first AR I want to talk about is the Chiron from the Season 1 Battle Pass. The blueprint is included for the premium version of the Battle Pass, and I gotta tell you, this thing is nuts. The attachments and tunings are meant for movement and ADS speed, but the extended barrel gives it a good range buff and damage buff as well, so this thing is pretty unfair at medium to close, and also can do pretty far if you can control your recoil, which actually isn't that bad at all, so it's pretty easy. I just feel like the design of SHOOTHOUSE with the range of this weapon just go together super well. Unless you're trying to shoot down middle lane or shoot across spawns, you're gonna get the kill pretty much every time in every exchange you have on close quarters to medium quarters. I know people enjoyed shipment a lot for camo grinding and stuff, but I really do feel like SHOOTHOUSE has that same kind of opportunity to grind camos. Actually, it gives a little bit more opportunity because you can use a variety of different weapons, as I said earlier, and on shipment you can't really use tac rifles, you can't really use marksman rifles as well, but on SHOOTHOUSE you definitely can. But this is just one of those weapons that goes perfect with the map, and I feel like it is a bit unfair, and the build that they have for this blueprint is just crazy, which is weird because usually the game devs don't really play the game itself, so when they do come out with blueprint packs with a bunch of attachments on it, it's usually the worst attachment combinations that you can actually imagine. So to have this gun like this is actually kind of a rarity. At least that's been my experience with Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward games. The Cold War blueprints were actually pretty good and didn't really give me trouble at all. So for this gun, I'm not going to give a build at the end of the video because it's just, like I said, it's an included blueprint, so anybody can really get it. But for the rest of the ARs that I use, I'm definitely going to go ahead and include the build because I made those builds myself, and I do feel like they're, kind of the best for me, at least my gameplay and my style. So hopefully you all agree, or if you try it out, let me know down in the comments. With this blueprint being built for ADS time and movement speed, you're going to be zipping around corners, you're going to be ADSing faster than the other players. You're just going to always have the upper hand on everybody else with this gun. I do admit it's kind of cheating. So if you do try it out and you like it, let me know down in the comments, or if you have tried it out and liked it, obviously let me know, because I feel like this blueprint's pretty good. So on to the next. This next AR I want to talk about is the Kastov 762. I built this gun around movement speed and ADS as well, but it's a little bit more stable than the Chiron build. Just in case you want to play a little bit more passive and have those longer shots, you can actually use this gun and be a lot more accurate than the Chiron. This gun, in comparison to the Kastov 74U, has a slower fire rate and a little bit less of a drop-off of damage, and it's also a lot slower too in terms of ADS and movement, but it still is viable at close range. I just feel like you have to get kind of lucky and aim well. Either that or just hope the other person sucks way more than you do. I honestly cannot wait for Season 2 to come out already. I feel like this game has gotten stale and it's been out for 3 years. Also, the current state of, Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 in general, I feel like the player drop and the player count is very important to the devs, and they're probably going to be making some changes along with Season 2. I mean, at least I hope. Probably not though, because they don't listen to anybody, so yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. And playing this game as much as I have been, honestly, it's been getting really boring. But anyways, back to the guns. I know the damage is probably the highest in the Kastov 762, and that's why I kind of picked it for this build. I did have to do a lot of tuning and tweaking with the attachments to kind of get it as quick as I wanted it to be. I know the Kastov 565 is a bit smaller and a bit quicker, but you're also going to be sacrificing that damage drop-off and damage in general, so I picked the 762 to kind of build around, and it's a really good gun. I actually thoroughly enjoy this AR, especially on SHOOTHOUSE with the angles and ranges that you can find yourself shooting across, and its stability is pretty good, so this gun is very well balanced for this map. I do prefer SHOOTHOUSE to shipment in some ways, only because it gives you freedom to actually be unique and yourself as a player, instead of having to depend on your team and depend on spawns and depend on this, like shipment has. It's very chaotic, and you have to really read the map and spawns to play well. But Shoot House to me isn't like that. You can actually do what you want and play as an individual and enjoy yourself way more on this map. On Shipment, if your team is doing bad, you're gonna have a bad time. If the spawns are kicking your ass, you're gonna have a bad time. If the objective is spawning in a weird place, you're gonna have a bad time. And I do admit that this constant spawn flipping on Shoot House is a bit annoying, but at least the map gives you air to breathe around and actually able to flank sometimes, rather than Shipment just being shut down all the time because you're so close to another person. I thoroughly enjoyed making this video for that reason actually. On Shipment, you have to focus on one play style, and that's just aggressive and chaotic and neurotic, and on Shoot House you can actually have gunfights, and I really enjoyed making this video because of that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still close quarters and you still have to play quick and fast and ADS time and all that. That's kind of why these weapons are built the way they are, but it's not nearly as bad as Shipment. So if you're a fan of the 7.62, go ahead and try out this build, and please leave a comment below and tell me what you think about it. And last but not least is the Chimera assault rifle. Now I built this gun for ADS and movement speed as well, but it also has the 45 round mag, which does kind of hinder that a bit, but not too much. Now with this weapon, when I initially tried it, when it first came out, it really didn't impress me all too much with the damage or T2K or anything, but I do feel like Infinity Ward silent buffed it at least a little bit, because now this thing shreds like crazy, which I really don't remember it doing. So, and they do change weapon damages and they do tweak little things in here that they don't include in the patch notes all the damn time, which is really annoying. But yeah, I think this is one of those guns that got a little bit tweaked and they just didn't mention it. Now this gun does work best for medium to close range, but you'll be very surprised at how stable it is and how much damage drop off there isn't with this barrel, and it actually is able to do those long ranged fights pretty well actually. When I was experimenting around with different guns, I went through the STB, I went through the Scar H, I went through the TAC 56 as they're called in this stupid game. I experimented with a bunch of different ARs, and this one actually really surprised me with the way it shreds and how much you can do with it really in general. I know there are a lot of builds, with blueprints and bundles in the store and stuff like that, but nothing has really tickled my fancy the way that the builds that I make for these guns do. And that's sort of been how it's always worked for me. I never really listened to anybody else's build advice. I kind of always just made mine around my playstyle, and it's worked out pretty good for me, so hopefully it does for you too. And the last thing I'll say about the current state of this game is, if they don't start putting new maps and new content in ASAP, that this game is definitely going to die a slow and painful death and just keep bleeding players as it has been, which is a shame, because I really do feel like this is a good game and it has a chance to redeem itself if the devs just started giving a shit about what we say and actually putting content in and listening to the players. But hopefully that happens. Probably not though, as I said before. So here are the attachments for the Cast-Off 7.62. It's got the damage suppressor with a couple of recoil attachments to help it with stability, but the recoil attachments all have tuning that go towards ADS and movement speed, and the stock is actually the movement stock, and it has a concentration in the tuning around ADS and stability. So if you want, try this build out and let me know what you think. Here's the Chimera build, once again built around ADS and movement speed, and yeah, if you try this build out also, let me know what you think. And I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping up for this video. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the subs and likes. It blows my mind every day when I check the stats. So hopefully you all enjoyed this video too. Leave a like if you did, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.